Welcome to the Vantage HR Influencers Podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Vantage Circle, the leading employee benefits and engagement platform.
As companies navigate the new normal, employee engagement is more important than ever. It provides employees with optimistic feelings and thrives in a working environment that promotes communication, growth, development, respect, and trust. Hello everyone, this is Sushmita from Vantage HR Influencers Podcast, and to have a discussion on creating an engaging culture in the new normal, today I have with me Ruth Aarthy Asha, who is the head Human Resources Business Partner at Maveric Systems. Ruth comes with a total experience of more than 23 years in the HR industry. At Maverick, she is specialized in aligning HR function to business, focusing on transformation and strategy. Her core competencies lie in business partnering, talent management, performance management systems, OD strategies, employee experience, communication platforms, designing HR policies, and HR operations. Welcome to the show, Ruth.
Hi, good afternoon, Sushmita. Nice being here.
Yeah. So before we start, please tell us a little more about your journey in the corporate world.
It's been a challenging experience with lots of learning and unlearning. While as you said that, I've been in about 20 years, solely in the IT industry, where I had the opportunity to work with the CEOs and the CXOs even during my initial stages of the career.
Okay.
So I had always wondered what would keep them awake. Okay, that had been haunting my mind as a very budding HR professional. Numbers, targets, customers, what would be that? But felt that they were constantly thinking to prepare their next in line to strengthen the structure and have a robust future leadership. And having played varied roles in the HR, both at corporate and at business, it has become handy to sense certain situations and be decisive. Well, I can be judgmental at times, but rarely would have missed. And I would say that I have a huge connected associate with whom I have worked in the last 20 years. The connect is very professional. And I relished those discussions as a HR person, while I felt that I have left a footprint also professionally with them. So that's been a very exciting journey. Typically with all the good brands of organizations as well.
Right. So coming to the topic, Ruth, there's no question that COVID-19 has upset the working world and prompted a number of changes. And employees are stressed, distracted, and workforces are compressed as employers struggling financially are forced to make layoffs. And employees are taking on extra work as a result. In such a situation, what do you think is the role of employee engagement in workplaces?
Frequent connects sandwiched with support on delivery aspects. I strongly feel that the model that we are working here is quite discreet. People, I will not even know if somebody is working in a single room apartment or working, having their family beside them with kids online sessions happening. So being very empathetic also gives a lot of support in actually understanding the reality. Leadership working with clients and being very empathetic on the working model makes this handy. Communicating frequently and casual catch-up calls relieves most of the stress of the associates. So while we did a survey sometime in the initial phases of the COVID and the lockdown period, we largely found that the responses were featuring on having requesting for frequent connects, catch-up call apart from your delivery meetings. So scheduled discussions were initiated with the business leadership, giving lighter moments of the work would actually be a great success buster. And believe me, we as facilitators are actually enjoying those sessions as well.
Right. So, how do you identify employees who are not engaged or were frustrated or disengaged?
I think the first feedback would come from our customers. This is non-performance. And of course, the managers are there who can easily sense whether the associate is connected, disconnected with it, working in silos. So those are some very easy pickups for everybody, right? Even with the team members. Then somebody would be working, would always be at odds, very aggressive. Somebody wouldn't participate and, going beyond, they would resist initiatives that's coming up in the team. They never align with the manager nor with the team members. This is very evident. I mean, this is not very specific to the season, but
Hmm.
commonly observed traits.
Right.
Some other traits would be your uninformed absence, being
Okay.
absent at your desk, yes.
Without
So
informing.
long breaks
Hmm.
without informing,
Hmm.
long breaks, loitering over the phone on the corridors.
Hmm.
Seen with a lot of my negative personalities. I mean, you would see that these guys get hooked up with people who are normally not engaged, who have been in the system for quite some time, and then have been known for such traits, or somebody would have actually been in the notice period. So you can easily pick up such aspects easily. They would be in the cafeteria or in your balcony or in your lounge. All those are some visible signals.
Hmm. So, what according to you are the best practices for employee engagement? What are there any processes that you follow at Maveric Systems?
Yes, we have an endless list, and I think it largely depends on the culture and the leadership. While we have a very unique model of culture which has been embraced for the last 20 years, I think Maverick has built a fort where we are so empathetic, very people driven, uh, highly conscious about the career aspects of the associates. We have several initiatives which actually focuses on the career growth of the associates. Our learning and development platform is beautifully built to embrace such development and changes. Skill enhancement happens very frequently, monitored, and actually taken care to an extent that the competencies are built inside the system. Lateral hires actually have been throwing up praises and appreciations quite frequently. So I mean that is where we have been actually been very accommodative about the culture and then people as well.
Right. So, do you face any major challenge? Does your leaders face any major challenge while engaging their employees?
Yeah, I mean, all organizations definitely have challenges, Susmita, so I wouldn't definitely rule out that as well. But I would say that we have, I mean, if you want me to list down some of the best practices that has been there within Maverick and outside, I would definitely give a list where we would definitely say that we are way beyond, and as HR professional as well, bringing in all those aspects of my past experience also. I think we would definitely be an inspiring organization where we run the race along with the associates in actually aligning them with the goals. There's a lot of transparency with respect to financials, expansion plans. There are a lot of employee programs which actually where we brainstorm along with the associates. So when in the absence of these, I think then it becomes a challenge. I would actually add on a culture of fairness and truth.
Right.
And it all begins with the leadership, right? So if I don't have a good boss or a CEO, then it all trickles away. Flexibility, flexibility to accommodate. Accommodate your associate needs and wants. Picking up your child from your school during the work hours and giving that flexibility for about 20 minutes is also felt essential by a lot of associates, whether it be a male or a female, forget it. But I think that flexibility to accommodate their personal needs and then understand, yes. And of course, they are the guys who actually are highly engaged with the organization.
Right. So,
And of course, hiring makes a lot of difference. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, right. Yeah, please continue.
And I said hiring also makes a lot of difference when you bring the pedigree into your system. So, I mean, I think that we need to invest a lot. I am talking about the HR fraternity in totality. We need to invest a lot on the valuable potential assessment models. Use employee referral as one effective tool to get the best talent into the system. I think we have to make these scenarios very evident to our associates. And if in case their accomplishments in the previous employments actually depict their style of working, we will have the best potential inside.
So there are many companies in India who don't care about employee engagement. Like under that circumstance, how can an employee deal with a supervisor who does not care about employee engagement?
Rarely we see bad humans, but quite common to have managers who are keen on employee engagement. While they address their team members, sometimes not by names but as resources. So this might not be surprising for some of us who have actually been experiencing this on the floor. I think that we'll have to understand the strong areas, support and walk the path along with them as HR leaders. I've had great technical leaders who have been very innovative and creative, but bad people managers. It
Right.
becomes imperative to lead people and is inevitable as we progress through the career. I have sought support from some leaders to identify people managers, such leaders who have not been actually good people managers. I have put the ball in the court, asking them to identify some people managers within the system to drive my engagement initiatives. While I would only talk business to this guy as a HR business partner, but only and partner with his nominated people managers. While I was doing this, I have seen several times the same manager walk up to me seeking support on some suggestions and decisions, which was a very clear sign of him being indecisive on people, but wanting to support. Somewhere he's trying to catch up that race. That's where the transformation begins. But that's a long journey, and it can definitely be fruitful after some time. As HR folks, I think that we need to have the patience, more essentially tolerance, with these managers to handhold their struggle to win over the situations.
Right. So, do you think that there will be any changes required in the way employees were engaged prior to this pandemic? And if so, what will employee engagement look like after the crisis is over?
See, while it was very easy to say a hi earlier and share greetings when you pick up a coffee or when you actually walk up to the restroom and then walk past a colleague, and it would be difficult even for somebody to accept while you're standing close by and talking, right? So it's easy to pick up a conversation when it's on over a phone, and we have been used to that for the last 5 months, and I don't know how long that would persist. I think to break this monotony, we will need to have more connects in communication. So as a HR person, I would say that despite our meeting schedules, despite our delivery impact and timelines, which the floor actually goes through while they're back at work, the demands would be more. I think we should make them feel that they're wanted in the system. It's not about job insecurity. It's more about them being significant in their presence as well. So that would go a long journey in giving them the assurance that they are performers. They are people who are the backbone of the organization. They have been driving the organization in the last few months where we have been away from the office premises, but still hand-holding the entire business and building the structure and making this success and the journey success. So that's where I see that it is going to be a challenging situation. But still, as HR folks, we need to catch up for all that loss that we have actually been taking and consuming this last 5-6 months.
So, would you like to give any suggestions to HRs for creating better and engaging culture in the new normal?
I think we'll have to be more flexible. But people being so used to this flexible hours, I know that it's a global effect that we spend more than 11 or 12 hours at work. Whether it be people who are working across the globe, it makes things different, even different and difficult for them. And while they come back to their normalcy, or when we're back at office, I think that the flexibility of even understanding and telling them, yes, it is required that you are back at work, but somehow we have been having this new normal in practice for the last 5-6 months. So that becomes very essential for the HR professional to handhold and then push it across the floor with the managers as well. Because once we are back, it is again revenue. It's again your numbers, your deliverables, your customers. Absolutely. So that becomes very essential for us to educate and also bring them to the alignment. And I think there is more of this communication which needs to be strengthened. So frequent, necessarily not from the HR desk, more with the org aspect as well, from your communications team, from the CEO's desk. All these matter a lot, from the business heads. All these matter a lot gives them the confidence that yes, I have been actually progressing, and then I wanted the system.
Mm.
There are a lot of other nitty-gritties, and while we talk about some HR practices, so let's be very open. Let's be very fair in treating our associates. Very a truthful communication will go a long way.
Mm. Right. So nicely explained, Ruth. So in case our listeners want to know more about employee engagement at workplace from you, please let us know how they can reach out to you.
Well, I have my official ID. You want me to spell out the ID now?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. My ID is RUTHA at Maveric Systems, MAVERIC SYSTEMS.com. Or absolutely, you can reach out to our communications team. So the ID is available on our website. You can also follow us on our LinkedIn pages for the latest updates.
Okay, great. We'll put that in the show notes. So that was a great conversation with you, Ruth. Thanks a lot for joining me.
Thank you, Sushmita. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for listening to Vantage HR Influencers Podcast. Please do subscribe to Vantage HR Influencers Podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for new episodes.